Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I am so grateful that you are here. My name is Nikki and I channel messages from film and TV shows using tarot and oracle cards. And sometimes I can also channel from songs and books depending on how Spirit wants to bring the messages through. But I am excited and honored to be doing a reading for you today. And in today's video, I'm very excited because I am going to be channeling messages from one of my favorite TV shows of all time, How I Met Your Mother. This show is about a man named Ted Mosby, and he is telling the story of how he met his children's mother to his children. And every episode is a different story. This is also a very spiritual show, okay? So Ted, he completely is in sync with universal energy. He's always talking about the universe and serendipitous events and synchronicities, and also about lessons that he learns on his journey and how his relationships have helped him learn and grow. There are a lot of really amazing messages seeded and planted within this show. So if you've not seen the show, I highly recommend it. There are 9 seasons. It's on Hulu. It's amazing. And for this video in particular, Spirit chose 3 different episodes to bring messages. So how the reading will work, in the next part of the video, you will see 3 different piles. Please meditate on the pile that is speaking to you and go to the timestamps that I provide down below to go directly to your reading from there. Also, a lot of very general messages come through, so if you find there's a message that just doesn't sit right with you, it doesn't resonate with you, that's 100% okay. Don't try to force something that does not fit. Only take what resonates and leave what does not. So let's jump into some channeled messages from the TV show, How I Met Your Mother. Hello to everyone who chose pile number 1. I am so grateful that you are here. Your episode from How I Met Your Mother is from season 1, episode 21, and it's called Milk. And the synopsis for this episode says, the dating agency finds Ted's perfect match, but he decides not to meet her because he's still in love with Robin. Meanwhile, when Barney's prank war with the guy in the office escalates, he enlists Marshall in the mischief making. Okay, so let's see what your cards have to say, and disclaimer, there will be spoilers that come through the reading, so if you've not seen this episode of How I Met Your Mother, please be mindful of that as we move forward. And also a lot of very general messages come through. So if you find a message doesn't resonate for you, don't try to force something that does not fit. Only take what resonates and leave what does not. Your first card is Serendipity. And that is what this episode is all about. I love it. Okay, so with this card, Spirit is showing me that there are future dates where you will experience serendipity. This is the energy of being in the right place at the right time. Some of you will meet your soulmate or members of your soul tribe on these certain dates. This could be as simple as traveling somewhere and your soulmate or tribe is at the exact location you go to. So pay attention to your intuition if you feel called to journey somewhere. In this episode of How I Met Your Mother, it's the second to last episode before the final episode of season 1. So divine timing for these serendipitous encounters are closer than you think. Ted Mosby, played by Josh Radnor, is telling his children how he met their mother throughout the course of this show. And each episode is a different story. But early on in season 1, Ted signed up for a matchmaking service to try to find his soulmate. And it didn't work out at the time. But in this episode, he receives a call out of the blue from the matchmaking service letting him know that they found his soulmate. And when Ted reads her file, she is his perfect match. They have so much in common and align on similar values. So he sets up a date to meet her. While he is waiting for her to arrive for their date, he gets a call from his friend Lily, played by Allison Hannigan. Her car broke down and she asks Ted to come pick her up. He asks why she didn't call Marshall, played by Jason Segel, who is her fiancé. Lily tells Ted that Marshall can't find out that she took the car. So Ted asks his date if they can meet a little later, and he goes to pick up Lily. But once he gets there, he finds out that Lily wanted to see if she had a chance of getting into an art school because she loves to paint. Getting into the school, though, would intervene with her plans to get married to Marshall. But she doesn't want to always wonder what if. And sometimes, if you know something is a mistake, it's important to make the mistake to find out if it was really, in fact, a mistake. Well, Ted is able to get the car going again, and Lily actually gets in the car and takes off, leaving him stranded. He ends up calling his friend Robin, played by Kobe Smulders, to come and get him. She is able to get him back to his date on time, but he decides that he doesn't want to meet his perfect match because he doesn't want perfect. He wants Robin, who he has been in love with from the moment he met her. So Spirit is showing me how some of you have experienced divine intervention just like Ted. Perhaps you had something scheduled and something happened where you weren't able to make it. There are no coincidences in this universe, okay? In the show, Ted wasn't quite ready for his perfect match. He had a soul contract with Robin that needed to be fulfilled first. So I also feel for a lot of you that you are wrapping things up with karmic soul connections in your life. And you have learned many lessons from these people. And the relationships in our lives are assignments for optimal growth and healing on our journeys. And the divine knows when we are ready to meet true and genuine soul connections. Karmic soul connections help us heal wounds and also prepare us for true connections. Everything that's happening right now is for your highest good. And Spirit also wants you to know that true connections come in when we have learned to create peace within ourselves. You can't depend on anyone else for your happiness. That must come from you. Your next card is, wherever you go, go with all your heart. Okay, so our future timelines change based on what we are doing in the present moment right now. And Spirit is saying whatever you choose in each present moment, to choose it with all your heart. In the episode, Ted makes the decision to choose Robin over his perfect match, not knowing if it's going to be a mistake or not. But he chose her with all his heart and moved forward with that decision. Lily did the same thing with art school. She had to know if she could get into the art school. So Spirit is saying, whatever you're wanting to pursue at the moment, to do so with all your heart. If it's a mistake, time will let you know that. But it's also important to remember that even if it turns out to be a mistake, time wasn't wasted because you will come out of the experience gaining something to take with you onto the next adventure in your life. Your next card is, I trust that my gut reaction is the truth underneath the surface of my fears. Okay, so the name of this episode is called Milk. And in the beginning of the episode, Ted grabs some milk from the fridge. He sniffs it and asks Marshall if the milk is still good. Then he proceeds to drink the milk and immediately spits it out in the sink as it has gone bad. Spirit is showing me how you have a very strong intuition, but may have a tendency to second guess yourself sometimes. Spirit is also saying to start trusting your gut reaction in situations. The second guessing arises because of fear and not trusting ourselves. Ted was already picking up that the milk was spoiled. He didn't trust his gut reaction and drank some nasty milk. Perhaps drinking the nasty milk makes us none the wiser for the next time, though. Spirit is also showing me how Robin got her hair highlighted in the episode. She didn't genuinely want to get them to begin with. So when she picks up Ted, she is wearing a hat to hide them. And it created a funny moment that she and Ted laughed about. So sometimes not trusting our gut does make for some funny stories to share with others. But also, it teaches us a lesson in the process. Be gentle with yourself. Trust your gut reactions and allow yourself to see the humor in things. Your last card is the Three of Cups in reverse. With this card, I feel an energy of wanting to align with your soul tribe, which is the same energy I received from the Serendipity card. I am being shown the scene once again where Lily leaves Ted stranded. So I do feel like some people in your life have done the same thing to you. And these are not real friends, okay? Real friends will not leave you behind like that. Real friends do not ghost you. Real friends do not give you backhanded compliments laced with sarcasm. Real friends validate your emotions and respect your boundaries. Real friends do not drain your energy. Real friends support you. Real friends do not keep canceling on you at the last minute. Real friends are not one-sided. And real friends give you an explanation behind things and don't leave you in the dark. I also keep hearing, I'd rather be alone than have the wrong friends. And I am right there with you. It is not worth it. I myself am actually at the point in my life where I cut people off immediately now. I too am done with fake friends. But another thing that is important to learn is to communicate effectively. And for me personally, it has been a struggle to relearn healthy communication, as it wasn't something that I was taught. But it is so important to let people know how you feel and where you stand. And communicating can help save the relationships and friendships that are worth saving. And sometimes a friend connection doesn't feel right, and that's okay. But if we keep holding on to the wrong friends, the right ones won't be able to enter our life. The universe delivers what we are agreeing to. So get clear with yourself what your boundaries are and what you will and will not put up with when it comes to your friendships or relationships. And then stick to them, as that will show the universe you ain't messing around. Love those messages. Wow. That is all that I am seeing, pile number 1. Those are your messages. Thank you so much for being here. If your reading resonated, if you enjoyed it, thank you so much for liking, commenting, subscribing. I love you all so much, and I will see you on the next video. Bye. Hello to everyone who chose pile number 2. I am so grateful that you are here. Your episode from How I Met Your Mother is from Season 7, Episode 15, called The Burning Beekeeper. And the synopsis says, Lily and Marshall throw a housewarming party, but Lily's father, Mickey, causes consternation by admitting that he has just started a honey business and has 10,000 bees in the basement. Okay, so let's see what your cards have to say, and disclaimer, there will be spoilers that come through the reading, so if you have not seen this episode of How I Met Your Mother, please be mindful of that as we move forward. And also a lot of very general messages come through. So if you find there's a message that does not resonate for you, don't try to force something that does not fit. Only take what resonates and leave what does not. Your first card is Maturity. Okay, so with this card, Spirit is showing me how you are learning to respect differences amongst people. And this comes with emotional maturity and learning how to navigate anger. In this episode of How I Met Your Mother, married couple Lily, played by Allison Hannigan, and Marshall, played by Jason Segel, host a housewarming party at their new home. Ted, played by Josh Radnor, and Robin, played by Kobe Smulders, get into an argument. Robin gets annoyed at Ted that he always seems to avoid conflict, and he tells her that she's very blunt and mean, as she's been known to scream at people when she's mad. So, this episode deals with how everyone handles anger and confrontation in their own way. By the end of the episode, Robin and Ted reach the maturity that this card epitomizes. She tells Ted that maybe it's not such a bad thing that he's such a nice guy. And he tells her that maybe it's not such a bad thing that she is more expressive and blunt. But what they didn't realize is that they were teaching each other the strength that each of them lacked. Robin was learning from Ted that she could still be expressive without exploding. And Ted was learning from Robin that he could have a backbone and not allow himself to be walked all over. So, with the spirit on the card here that's standing behind the woman seated in this chair, I see that you have some very wise spirit guides who have been helping you learn to feel anger in a healthy way. I also see you are very mindful of your interactions with other people, especially if you disagree with them. I see that you express your point while still holding space for the opinions of others. I also see you're learning to recognize your triggers and process your emotions. I'm drawn to the woman writing on the card here. She has this quill and she's writing on this paper. So I'm feeling that some of you may actually journal a lot to help release emotions. And it is absolutely one of the best ways to do so. And sometimes amazing insights come through journaling that may not have previously come into our awareness before. So this first card is a message from Spirit commending you on how far you have come on your journey. You're healing, evolving, and maturing as the beautiful soul that you are. And you're learning to respond to situations much differently because you have a new awareness that you did not have in the past, and that is truly beautiful. Your next card is Dust Settles, I Don't. So with this card, Spirit is showing me Marshall and his boss, Garrison Coots, who is played by Martin Short in this episode. And at the beginning of the episode, Garrison tells Marshall that they are going back to the office to work after the housewarming party is over. And you could tell that Marshall does not want to do that. He wants to enjoy the weekend with his family and friends. So Spirit is showing me similar situations taking place for you, group number 2. If there is something you genuinely do not want to do not settle, okay? Learn to say no, because every time you say yes when you mean no, you abandon yourself and what it is that you truly want. And this leads to built up anger and resentment. Your next card is Releasing Anger from the Past Sets Me Free in the Present. And this whole episode is all about anger. So yeah, just like with the maturity card here, this card is showing me how you are working on releasing anger. I feel some of you have even done some breath work to do so. And this is a wonderful way to release pent-up emotions from our bodies. Our breath is very, very powerful. I'm also feeling the energy of someone around you who gets angry about a lot of little things or takes things very personally. I also see they pass blame without having all of the answers. And I can see this person certainly tests your patience. In the episode, I'm being shown Garrison again. When Marshall and Lily are talking to him, Lily tells him that she bought some vegan spring rolls as she knows that he is vegan. But when Garrison goes to find the spring rolls, he sees that they have all been eaten. And Barney, played by Neil Patrick Harris, was the one who ate them all. But he tells Garrison that Ted is the one who ate them. So Garrison confronts Ted, telling him that he could have eaten anything else on the table. But no, he had to eat the one thing that he could eat because he was vegan. And Ted gets very triggered because he did not, in fact, eat the spring rolls. And he doesn't appreciate being accused of something he didn't do. So Spirit is also showing me a similar pattern you may be working through right now. Perhaps one of your triggers is when people accuse you of something you didn't do. And I feel a past life energy where trauma may have been caused from a situation like this. So releasing anger from past lives, in addition to this life, also helps set us free in the present. Everything is happening right now anyway, as time is an illusion. So keep up the good work with releasing your anger. And you'll know when you've healed because you will find that your triggers lessen with time. Your last card is the 5 of Swords. Okay, so with this card, I feel an energy of being tired of the lessons and wondering when the light at the end of the tunnel is coming in. And the affirmation in the guidebook for this deck of cards actually has an affirmation that says, "The lessons move me ahead always." So if you feel like you've taken 2 steps back, rest assured that you've actually moved forward instead, okay? And I'm being drawn to the shadow in the background of the card here. See this little guy in the background here? This is your shadow self saying thank you. They are finally feeling free because you're embracing them. Look at how their arms are outstretched toward the sky and the light is literally beaming down on them. See this light on the card that's just like pew, over the shadow. Very cool. In this episode of How I Met Your Mother, at the very end, Garrison puts on the beekeeper suit that Lily's dad, Mickey, played by Chris Elliott, has been keeping in the basement along with the bees. And he accidentally sets himself on fire, and he runs through the house and out the front door to roll around in the snow outside. And in doing so, he forgets to shut the basement door, and all of the bees fill up the entire house. So, Spirit wants you to know that you are conquering right now, even if it feels like you're struggling, okay? The beekeeper suit protected Garrison from being harmed. So Spirit wants to remind you of how protected you are as well. And the flames of anger from your past are being fanned as you continue to release it. Conflict, unfair advantages, and loss teach us humbleness. Spirit is also pointing out the bees in the episode. And I have been shown many, many times in my own dreams that bees are a metaphor for karma. And a lot of karma is being released in the collective right now. In the episode, Lily and Marshall were attempting to have this housewarming party, and by the end, all the bees are swarming around their home. So I feel you are someone who has done your best to keep the peace, but also feel the need to speak your truth sometimes. I feel that you are someone who does special things for people in your life, but it seems like something always happens to ruin it. Ask your angels to help you with these types of situations. With this first card, Maturity, again, I picked up on the wise spirit guides around you. They would love to give you guidance and help you manifest what it is that you do want. They also want to help you release karma and painful emotions. You are not alone in this process, my friend. Spirit is also showing me the scene in this episode where Barney sleeps with a woman at the party named Geraldine. Throughout the whole entirety of the series, Barney is a womanizer in the show, and he hurts a lot of people. And I feel a message coming through from Spirit about being at peace with your sexuality. Whatever your sexuality is, embrace it because it's part of who you authentically are. And there's nothing wrong with it, nor has there ever been anything wrong with it, okay? And if you are experiencing anger coming up from perhaps picking the wrong partners in the past, give yourself grace. You did the best you could at the time with the knowledge you had. In the episode, Barney comes to find out that Geraldine gets very angry when men use her. And everyone has the right to be angry for being used by someone. So I also feel some of you are releasing anger in regards to something similar. And during this process, remember to give yourself love and compassion as well, because you deserve your own love too. Wow, that is all that I am seeing, pile number 2. Very, very amazing messages coming through the episode of How I Met Your Mother, The Burning Beekeeper. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you also for liking, commenting, subscribing. I love you all so much, and I will see you on the next video. Bye. Hello to everyone who chose pile number 3. I am so grateful that you are here. Your episode from How I Met Your Mother is from season 8, and it's episode 9 called Lobster Crawl. And the synopsis says, Robin is determined to get Barney back no matter what it takes. Meanwhile, Ted fills in as Marvin's nanny, leading Marshall and Lily to realize that Ted is using baby Marvin to replace his other baby, the GNB building. Okay, so let's see what your cards have to say, and disclaimer, there will be spoilers that come through the reading here, so if you've not seen this episode of How I Met Your Mother, please be mindful of that as we move forward. And also a lot of very general messages come through, so if you find that a message does not resonate for you, that's 100% okay. Don't try to force something that does not fit. Only take what resonates and leave what does not. Your first card is the Distorted Masculine. Okay, so with this card, both feminine and masculine energies are being healed and balanced in the collective at this time. And these energies are not gender specific, as we all have both energies within us. We all just tend to lead with more of one energy over the other. And this card focuses primarily on wounded masculine energy. And when our masculine energy is wounded, it shows up as an unwillingness to trust, ignoring emotions and intuition, and wanting proof of everything. To truly heal, the divine masculine must support the divine feminine. In this episode of How I Met Your Mother, Robin, played by Kobe Smulders, is in love with Barney, played by Neil Patrick Harris. In a past episode, he told her that he was done trying to get her. And Lily, played by Allison Hannigan, tells Robin that she always wants what she can't have. And that is the reason why she wants Barney so bad. The entire episode is basically Robin chasing after Barney and throwing herself at him. She loses herself as she pursues him. And she pulls out all the stops in this episode. She tries to turn him on by dancing with another woman at the bar. And she even shows up at his apartment wearing lingerie to try to seduce him. It's also important to never chase anyone, as that energy will repel the other person. So this message is for those of you who may have been ghosted, ignored, or hurt by someone you're interested in. Pull your energy back and focus on yourself. Learn the art of detachment, because the root of all suffering is attachment, as the wise Buddha said. Your next card is, just because you haven't found your talent yet doesn't mean you don't have one. There's also a side story in this episode where Ted, played by Josh Radnor, is spending a lot of time with Lily and Marshall, who is played by Jason Segel, their baby Marvin. He's spending a lot of time with their baby Marvin. So Lily starts to get irritated with Ted because he's capturing a lot of Marvin's first moments, like his first crawl and whatnot. Lily and Marshall come to the realization that Ted misses all the firsts he had when he was creating buildings. So they set up an interview for him to help him out. And sometimes we can pursue our true talents with passion for a while, only to reach a season where they lie dormant for a while. And this is okay, as we all go through seasons in our lives. The talents you pursued in the past are still there, waiting for you to tap back in. And if you feel like you haven't genuinely found your talent, this means you have the opportunity to try new things until you do find it. I also feel some of you have hit a wall with something you were once passionate about. Perhaps you haven't experienced any more firsts with it. You know, there is a channeler named Bashar, and he always says to move in the direction of your greatest excitement, until you can take it no further. And when that happens, he then says to start pursuing the next thing you are excited about. So what are some things you are excited about? Test some of them out and see what happens. Spirit is also reiterating the importance of appreciating yourself and all that you do. Ask for the things you want, claim your power, and remember that you are good enough as you are. Your next card is, I begin my day with love. Okay, so Spirit is showing me once again how Robin loses herself in this episode. And I feel that some of you are being very, very hard on yourself. I see you've had a difficult time trying not to think about someone, and I'm hearing things like, why can't I just forget them? And I know how hard this is, as I've gone through the same thing in the past. Spirit is saying to forgive yourself, okay? Beating yourself up is not going to make things any better. Also, if you have found yourself getting caught in the loop of overthinking or even possibly having obsessive thoughts, this is an indication once again from Spirit to put the focus on yourself. And this affirmation states, I begin my day with love. So when you wake up in the morning, make yourself a priority. Create a self-care morning routine that is specifically designed for you to have time with yourself. Some things to do could be possibly meditating, practicing gratitude, reading, eating breakfast, doing mirror work, stating I am affirmations to set the tone for your day, getting ready for the day and wearing your favorite things, doing your hair, brushing your teeth, exercising, going out in nature. So create a morning routine that you love and can't wait to jump out of bed to do every day. And if your heart is healing from heartbreak, take all the time you need to heal. Feel your emotions as needed. Journal your feelings. And when you begin each day with love for yourself, your focus shifts to help you remember how amazing you are and everything you have to offer. And another interesting thing happens when you focus on yourself. As you start to see all the wonderful things about yourself, you start to know your value. And anyone else who doesn't see it won't even appeal to you anymore. You will start attracting soul connections who will treat you like the queen or king you are. And that's truly beautiful. It's a very powerful shift that happens once we place the focus back on ourselves, choosing ourselves, and making ourselves a priority. Spirit is also drawing me back to this episode now and is showing me Patrice, who is played by Ellen D. Williams. So when Robin shows up at Barney's apartment in her lingerie, she finds that her coworker Patrice is there. And Barney tells her that he and Patrice are actually seeing each other. So I also feel that some of you found out the person you're interested in, or quite possibly even in a relationship with, was seeing someone else. And I can feel that this has brought up a deep wound of feeling unworthy. And Spirit wants you to know that you are adequate for all situations you encounter. Someone's inability to see your worth or not choosing you never defines your worth. You've got to start choosing yourself. And you can start this process by beginning each day with love and telling yourself that everything in your life works out for you. You're a beautiful soul. Radiate acceptance for yourself and remember that love surrounds and protects you always. Also, what are some things you love to do that are creative? Channeling your emotions into a creative project you're passionate about also brings powerful healing. The world is waiting to see you express your unique gifts and talents. So show us what you got. Your last card is the Four of Wands in reverse. Okay, so Spirit is saying to not allow yourself to get caught up in drama at this time. Refuse to engage with it at all costs. When the Four of Wands is reversed, it brings an energy of arguments and disagreements. I also see that past circumstances keep being brought into your present moment. Spirit is saying to leave the past in the past. In the episode, I keep seeing how Robin treats Patrice at work. She yells at her all the time. She's always like, "Nobody asked you, Patrice!" And she just screams at her. And in the show, it's really funny, okay? But the messages that Spirit's bringing through here is sometimes when we've been hurt badly, it can cause us to take it out on people who haven't done anything wrong. It's also possible to develop a belief that we will always be hurt by others, and this isn't true. It is if we continue to believe that lie, but if we don't do the inner work and heal our past wounds, we can end up hurting the very people that the universe sends to help and love us. So whoever hurt you in your past, Spirit is asking you to leave that situation in the past. Today is a new day. Stay in the present moment right now. It is important to note, however, that healing past wounds does require looking upon the past once more, but it's done with a different energy. It's done with the intention of healing, processing pain, and letting go once and for all. Then forgiveness is possible. And you will know when you have reached a place of forgiveness when you find you are no longer triggered. There's also an energy coming through here about criticism. And with the Four of Wands in reverse, this can indicate there was a lot of criticism in your household growing up. And this may be a pattern you are working through right now. Spirit is saying to only give out that which you wish to receive in return. When you have love and acceptance for others, this will be mirrored back to you in your physical reality. Wow, beautiful, beautiful messages coming from the episode Lobster Crawl from How I Met Your Mother. Thank you so much for being here. Also, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. I am so grateful for you all. I love you all so much, and I will see you on the next video.